What's up, YouTube? This is A.R.M bringing you a review of Guardians of the Galaxy #1. We start off with a really good issue. Still good series launch going on here. Lots of interesting character interactions. I can see they're foreshadowing for really good storylines and arcs in the future. Here we start with a cover. Steve McNiven, Bendis writing. Lethal combination. Alright, the story begins with our main hero, Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, sitting in a pub speaking with a Kree woman. They're flirting back and forth, a little bit of banter. Side note, this scene opens up in a sort of alien-like world. I mean, we know it's the Kree Empire, but it kind of reminds me of the opening of a Star Wars film, or, you know, like the cantina. So he's flirting back and forth with this Kree woman. They're making some headway, giggity. And then in walks King Spartax, aka Star-Lord's father. He dismisses the woman. You can see his guards taking the lady away. He sits down. And oddly enough, him and his father have sort of a love-hate relationship. He's bitter that his father left him and his mother so many years ago. And his father makes comments, about the women he was talking to, like, oh, nice, or really, stuff like that. But he's still the king. He's telling Peter that he wants him to take his rightful place in the Spartax Empire as the prince, and that he wants him to pretty much leave Earth alone. He tells him he can't do that. His father also tells him that they had a meeting, a council of the galactic, some galactic council of would-be or could-be conquerors. This is a really interesting scene because when he was telling him about the would-be conquerors, you can see the Queen Brood, Annihilus, the backup gladiator from the Shi'ar Empire, King Spartax himself, and here we go. That's the Kree world mind. He pretty much says within this meeting they decided to leave Earth untouched. That Earth needs to be developed so it can evolve with the rest of the universe. In other words, in order for Earth to advance, they need to leave it alone so it can get up to par with these other empires. But there's a double meaning to that. Star-Lord immediately contradicts him by asking him why would he leave Earth unprotected, and sending out a warning like that to the galaxy could make the Earth really vulnerable to would-be attackers or people who just wants to take over it, such as Thanos, for example. While they're going back and forth, in comes Gamora, deadliest woman in the universe. She fights off all the Spartax guards that came with, that accompanied Star-Lord's father. And Star-Lord's father makes a comment, "Is that Gamora, the deadliest woman in the galaxy?" He's like, "Yes." He says, "Nice." But still, they're bantering back and forth. And he also tells his father off pretty much, and he walks away from him. Then we switch to another scene with Iron Man near Earth in his new armor, his new space armor. He's investigating a ship approaching Earth's atmosphere, and it's a Badoon ship. The Badoon are the aliens that are the ancient enemies of the Spartax. So Iron Man, he tests the ship's shield. He gets a little bit of feedback from the ship. But then in comes the rest of the team, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Gamora, Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord. We have Drax the Destroyer, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot. So then they begin an attack, pretty much an attack on the Badoon. You see Drax here crashing his axe into the ship. You got Rocket Raccoon and Iron Man going back and forth with some banter. Groot gears up for an attack through the windshield. They're just pretty much casually speaking to each other while they're defending the Earth from this Badoon attack. Finally, Groot crashes in through the ship's main deck, and the Badoon pretty much know they're in for it. Gamora, as deadly as she is, she jumps through the glass. She starts killing people. She starts killing the Badoon. They're blasting. They're still talking to each other while they're blasting each other. You love me when I'm right, Star-Lord says to Rocket Raccoon, because Rocket Raccoon says he hates it when he's right. So, you know, that type of team dynamic in the middle of such an important attack shows that this is a team that has it together, or so it seems. So it seems that so far in this book, at least. You know, they're continuing their attack, and then as you can see, the Badoon is losing. They're getting their ass handed to them by Iron Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy. So essentially, they leave a message for the rest of the Brood to avenge them, and that they're aborting the mission. So they click a failsafe, sort of like a kill switch button. The ship blows up. You see the rest of the team narrowly avoiding the blast. And then the best that Star-Lord could say is, Guardians, back to the ship. Now here's something I found odd in this book. Drax wants to go back to get Gamora. And Star-Lord, who's the leader, tells Drax, no, she can take care of herself. Drax says, no, not without her. And then Drax also says, we leave no one behind. Star-Lord's the leader of the group, yet he's willing to leave behind, you know, one of the teammates, namely Gamora, especially when she had his back in the beginning of the book. I mean, I know she is the most deadliest woman in the universe, and that's probably what he was getting at. She's the deadliest woman in the universe. She doesn't need anyone to really go back and get her, but still, it's a weak team dynamic. The blast knocked out Tony Stark, so he's being cared for by Peter Quill, pretty much. So then they're retreating back to their ship. And then Rocket Raccoon, he's looking for Groot. Groot also got caught in the blast. He exploded. There's been many times in the past in this story, or in many different series of Guardians of the Galaxy, where Groot gets mutilated, blown up, cut in pieces. But in this scene, you can see Rocket Raccoon picks up a shard of his wood, and everything's okay. As long as he has a piece of Groot, he can regrow him. Groot can be regrown from a pot, because essentially he's just a tree. A little interesting dialogue in this scene. Peter Quill says, Stark is unconscious. I think, Stark, don't be dead. I'm not sure if that was meant to be funny or not, but you know, just see Iron Man laid out. And then once we get to the closing of the book, the Badoon ship that self-destructed, it's on its way to Earth. It's not flying to Earth, but it's falling to Earth, pretty much. And then Gamora then tells Peter Quill that essentially what his father has done is set him up. He knew that he would be here to protect the Earth against an attack. So pretty much, and this is how the book closed. As you see the ship falling to the Earth, and it's falling to the Earth, but it's also blasting at the same time. And I think that it's blasting. If he can't have the Earth, then as far as he's concerned, you all go to hell together. So pretty much his father is a tyrant. The guy we seen in the last issue that we have some sympathy for because he had a baby with a woman in the middle of nowhere is now the jackass that's attacking Earth. And this is an odd little piece of artwork right here. See how crazy that lady looks? She looks crazy. Yeah, she looks crazy. And then the last page retreated to a cover art gallery. And then just do some zooming in here. This is the cover I have now. We have alternate covers by many different artists, many great artists. Phil Jimenez and Frank de Armada. Another one of my favorites, Terry and Rachel Dodson, has a cover. Famous for Wonder Woman and Power Girl covers. Can't get that focus right there. Marcos Martin. Greg Horn painted a cover. Adi Granov, who's done many Nova and past Guardian of the Galaxy covers before. And this last one by European artist by the name of Milo Manata. This one was also at my local comic book store for $25. I kind of was on the fence about picking it up because I know stuff like that can be very profitable in the future. Good investment. Who knows? If it's still there, I might pick it up and then review the cover itself. Really good artwork. He's good for drawing women. And then a bunch of other alternate covers for this issue by a great artist. So YouTube, that's my review recap of Guardians of the Galaxy #1. I look forward to reading this book. I hope you do as well. I hope this review helped. Thank you for checking out my video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and have a good weekend. Peace.